Welcome to this episode of Good Morning KU Sports. I'm Katie, and we have a great show for you all today. First up, Olivier will be covering the Champions Classic that KU men's basketball competed in earlier this week. Next, we will head to Owen, who will be giving us a Sunflower Showdown preview for this weekend. Though it's KU's last home football game, it will be one of the biggest games of the year. We'll then go to Cole, who's doing a man-on-the-street interview, getting the public opinion about who's going to win the KU-K-State game. We'll then head to Eli and Ryan G for Pick 'em with Greenwald for the 11th week of NFL football. After that, we will go to Ryan K, who will be giving us his top 5 plays of the week. Then, Olivier will be the host of Good Morning KU Sports Trivia. Let's go to Olivier for the Champions Classic recap.
Kansas played their 3rd game of the season this past Tuesday in the 12th annual Champions Classic. The Champions Classic is an event in the beginning of the college basketball season that highlights 4 of the best college basketball programs. The Champions Classic started off on Tuesday night with Michigan State playing Duke in what was a lopsided victory for the Blue Devils. The final score was 74-65, but Duke was in control for most of the game, as freshman guard Caleb Foster scored 18 points and returning star Kyle Filipowski added 15. Michigan State couldn't buy a basket in the first half and found themselves in a 15-point hole early. They made a late push, but Duke was able to get timely baskets to fend them off for the win. The second game featured the Kansas Jayhawks versus the Kentucky Wildcats. This was Coach Self and Coach Calipari's 12th all-time meeting, as Coach Cal came into the game leading the all-time matchup 6-5. Kansas got off to a quick 11-3 lead, with Dickinson getting anything and everything he wanted. Kentucky fired back though, getting out in transition and making several threes. Freshman Robert Dillingham starred for the Wildcats, scoring 18 points off the bench. The game went into halftime with Kentucky holding a 9-point lead. The second half started, and Kentucky continued to step up and stop Dickinson. But an unlikely scorer, DeJuan Harris, stepped up and scored 23 points for the Jayhawks. Harris shot 5 for 6 from 3 to get the Jayhawks back into it, and to close out the game, Kansas found Dickinson down low. He finished the game with 27 points and 21 rebounds for a brilliant performance against a talented Kentucky team. Kansas returns to action next Monday at the Maui Invitational, as they look to win the tournament for the 2nd time in 5 years. Now, let's go to Owen for a preview of the Sunflower Showdown happening tomorrow.
Kansas Jayhawks are taking on the Kansas State Wildcats in the yearly Sunflower Showdown rivalry game. It will be the last game at the old David Booth Kansas Memorial Stadium before renovations begin in December. Kansas is looking to get their first win against K-State since 2008 when they won in Lawrence 52-21. The biggest narrative going into this one is who will be under center for the Jayhawks, after Jason Bean suffered an unfortunate head injury in last week's 16-13 loss against Texas Tech. If Bean isn't good to go, the next man up will be Cole Ballard, a true freshman who played most of the second half against Tech and showed some flashes, going 9 of 20 for 124 yards along with an interception. However, all signs are pointing to Bean starting, as Coach Leipold said in a press conference Tuesday that he was, quote, very optimistic that Jason Bean will be the starter tomorrow. Many Jayhawk seniors will be playing their final game at the booth, including Kenny Logan, Rich Miller, and the aforementioned Jason Bean. They're hoping to get a win against a Wildcat squad that's currently 7-3 and ranked 23rd in the AP poll and 21st in the college football playoff poll after a 59-25 thrashing of Baylor last week. The Kansas State offense is led by quarterback Will Howard, who has thrown for 2,190 yards and 21 touchdowns in the air, and has added 300 yards and 7 touchdowns on the ground. He's also hard to take down in the pocket at a massive 6'5" and 242 pounds. Howard has thrown 8 interceptions this season, however, so look for Kobe Bryant, Mello Dotson, and company to be aggressive in trying to force turnovers like they've done all season. The game kicks off tomorrow at 6 p.m. on FS1. Alex Faust and Petros Papadakis will be on the call. And then one last piece of Kansas football news unrelated to the upcoming game. Jalen Daniels, who has been kept off the field due to a back injury he sustained in fall camp, released a video yesterday stating his intent to return to KU next year amid rumors that he would transfer at the end of this season. He declared, quote, "I'm not done yet, and I'm not going anywhere. Rock chalk." Now let's go to Cole with some KU students and how they feel about tomorrow's game.
All right, good morning, KU. And I'm Cole Yancey, and we're going to be going around campus asking people what their thoughts are for the upcoming K-State game. All right, I'm here with
Canton.
All right. What do you think the score is going to be this weekend?
I think it's going to be 31-27 Kansas.
Kansas. All right. Have you heard of Will Howard?
Will Howard? Who is he?
I don't know. All right, and I'm here with
Amir Indris.
All right. What do you think the K-State score is going to be this weekend?
13-0.
13-0. KU? All right, let's go. Have you heard of Will Howard? Yeah, neither have I. All right, now we're in the student union with Eric.
It's true.
All right. So, how do you think the KU game's going to go this weekend?
I think it's going to be really, really close. I think it's going to come down to the fourth quarter, and I see special teams. It's going to be a special teams come through.
All right. Do you have any messages for the K-State fans?
The K-State fans. I got too much family that's K-State fans to pick any battles there. Sorry.
All right. Thank you. All right. We're still in the student union with
Iasu.
So, Iasu. How do you think the KU game's going to go this weekend?
KU's going to lose 72-3.
All right. I'm at the DeBruce Center with
Easton.
All right. How do you think the K-State game's going to go this weekend?
I think it's going to go pretty well. I know it was a rough week last week, but freshman quarterback, get him a week to prepare, and it'll go well.
I agree with that. All right. Thank you. All right. I'm here with, what's your name?
Devin.
All right, Devin. Who do you think's going to win this weekend? KU or K-State?
KU.
KU? Why is that?
I just think they're better.
I agree with you. All right. We're at Daisy Hills with
Callie Williams.
All right, Callie. Who do you think's going to win this weekend?
Definitely KU, no doubt.
Okay, why is that?
Because we're just the Jayhawks. There's no doubt, especially against K-State. There's no way we won't win.
I like that answer. So after the first touchdown, what's going to be your celebration?
I'm probably just going to, get up and run around.
Okay, thank you. Who do you think's going to win? Rock Chalk.
Welcome back to Picking with Greenwald. I'm Eli Greenwald, joined by Ryan Grossman. And today we have some awesome picks coming your way for NFL Week 11, so let's jump right in. First we have a AFC North divisional matchup with the Steelers and the Browns. Big rivalry matchup, big division standing implication here. Ryan, who do you like for this game?
I like the Browns in this one. Even with Deshaun Watson out, I think DTR is going to be more than a serviceable option for the Browns against Pittsburgh in this game, already with in-game experience this season. The Browns have been really good at home this year and have arguably the best defense in the NFL. And they're looking to split with their rivals. I expect their defense, I expect Myles Garrett and company to eat against the struggling Steelers offense, and Denzel Ward and company shut down Kenny Pickett in the secondary. The offense will do just enough to get a win in this one, taking sole possession of second in the AFC North. What do you think, Eli?
Yeah, I agree with you. I disagree with you. I like the Steelers in this ball game. I think Mike Tomlin is going to do just enough to win this game. The Steelers all year have won games with, frankly, an offense that they shouldn't be winning games with, but Mike Tomlin finds ways to win. That's why he's a Hall of Fame coach. Every year he's going to get you 8 wins. Kenny Pickett has been mediocre at best, but it doesn't seem to matter. Steelers' defense has been solid. Cameron Hayward coming back from injury to join back with T.J. Watt. It's going to be a good matchup with the good Steelers front seven, along with a great rushing attack in Cleveland. I expect the Steelers to do just enough to get it done, especially against the backup quarterback in Cleveland, but it's going to be a good game.
Yeah, I cannot wait for this game.
Then we travel to Northern California for Bucks-Niners. What do you think about this game, Ryan?
I like the Niners in this one. They have one of the best, if not most talented defense in the NFL. Got weapons all over the field on offense like CMC, Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, and of course George Kittle. While Baker has been decent this year, and the Bucs they're pretty solid in most positions, offensive line, defense. I think the Niners' elite pass rush will be too much to overcome. Nick Bosa and Chase Young played their first game together last week and completely dominated. Can't forget about studs like Fred Warner and D. Greenlaw. Even with recent struggles, the Niners are one of the best teams in the NFL for a reason. I think the Niners get it done in Santa Clara. What do you think, Eli?
Yeah, I agree with you. I like San Francisco here as well. I think that they were struggling a little bit before their bye, but I think the bye was kind of what they needed to get back on track. I do think this is a sneaky good matchup, though. There's some playoff implications for Tampa Bay, not only in their division, because their division is let's say less than stellar, but also in the wild card spot in the NFC, because the bottom of that NFC in that NFC conference is really struggling so far this year. So there's definitely some playoff implications in this game for both teams, but I think the Niners are going to do just enough. I think it's going to be a good matchup between a good Tampa Bay front seven and, of course, Christian McCaffrey, and one of the best offensive coaches we've ever seen in Kyle Shanahan.
For sure.
So I think that'll be an interesting matchup, better than a lot of people think.
Yeah, going to dial up some points in this one.
Absolutely, but I do like San Francisco.
Yeah.
And then we'll go to Sunday Night Football here just 40 minutes away in Kansas City. One of the best games of the year, if not the best game. Rematch of last year's Super Bowl. Frankly, could be the Super Bowl again this year. Two best teams in the NFL again. So, Ryan, what do you think about this one?
Sorry for all you Chiefs fans out there, but I'm picking against your team. Eagles will win a Super Bowl rematch. Philadelphia is hungry for revenge, and they'll make a resounding statement in KC. I love this matchup for the Eagles. The defense, for me, it comes down to who gets more stops, and I really think Philadelphia will get more stops. I don't think the Chiefs have a great defense. The Eagles' offense is one of the best in the NFL. Jalen Hurts finally going to get healthy again. Got weapons all over the field. A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert, of course, Devontae Smith. Then a loaded defense with stars like Darius Slay and Josh Sweat. And then you got that former Georgia trio of Jalen Carter, Nakobe Dean, and Jordan Davis. I love this matchup for the Eagles. Ton of offensive firepower. Obviously, it's not going to be easy going against Mahomes and the best tight end in the NFL. But I do think the Chiefs have an inconsistent defense, and they will get it done. And the Eagles will get it done because this team is on a mission, and this is the next step to achieving their ultimate goal. What do you think, Eli?
Yeah, there we go. I agree with you. I do like the Eagles as well in this game. And I think you said it best about that Chiefs defense. It's mediocre at best. Better than last year for sure, but still middle of the pack. I think it's 19 in the league right now. So I do like the Eagles in this ball game. Jalen Hurts coming off a knee injury. They had a bye last week. I think that's exactly what they needed to get healthy. I think they'll be able to run a solid dual rushing attack against Kansas City, led by not only DeAndre Swift but also Jalen Hurts, who's at full strength, being able to run the football effectively again. And I think that it's going to be a good game. I think that the Eagles' defense is solid enough to be able to contain Mahomes and Kelsey. I expect this to be a high-scoring game, but I do expect Jalen Hurts to go absolutely off in this ball game and do enough for the Eagles to win.
Sounds good.
All right, so that's all we have for Picking with Greenwald this week. Thanks for watching, and we're going to head over to Ryan for his top 5 plays of the week.
Thanks, guys. I'm Ryan here with your top 5 plays of the week. Well, it's been another great week for sports in many different leagues, and with great weeks comes great plays. So let's count down the top 5 plays of the week. With only 5 plays to choose from, let's go ahead and cover 5 different leagues. So let's roll that tape right now. Starting off with number 5, coming from, you guessed it, the Under-18 Men's Softball World Cup. Didn't even know there was such a thing until now, but hey, it's Keon Yap coming up with a diving catch out in right center for Singapore, getting them out of a second inning jam against Colombia. Looking silky smooth out there with those shades and that lime green glove. Keep it up, Clid. Wow, what a catch out there in right center. Now moving on to number 4. Let's continue this trend of defense and head over to the G League. Greensboro and Long Island going toe-to-toe. Long Island's Armani Brooks is 3, blocked by Greensboro's R.J. Hunter, who takes it the other way in transition, only to be blocked by Brooks himself. What a sequence on the island. Both guys getting their hands in the cookie jar. How about some offense now in number 3? Detroit and Ottawa playing in Sweden as part of the NHL's Global Series. In overtime with only a couple seconds left to go after a heavily offensive game, Tim Stützle of the Senators sees a deflected puck in the air and says, "Look what I found, Mom." He somehow bats it in past trying Detroit goalie James Reimer to seal up Ottawa's 5-4 overtime win. Not the prettiest swing I've ever seen, but hey, that's hockey, baby. Checking in at number 2. Hawks and Pistons. Asar Thompson says to Clint Capella, 1, 2, Thompson's coming for you. 3, 4, I'm gonna dunk on you. I mean, come on now, Mr. Thompson. He cocks his arm back further than a slingshot, and the rest is history. Clint Capella, get a breather after that one, my man. I mean, look at that bench reaction right there by the Pistons. Loving it by Asar Thompson. And finally, taking the cake at the number 1 spot, we head over to Monday Night Football between the Broncos and Bills. Russell Wilson cooking like Russ, cooking like his old self, evading the rush, and somehow gets this beautiful pass off to Courtland Sutton, who shows off that toe drag swag to catch this beautiful ball in bounds for a Denver touchdown. I mean, what are you supposed to do there as a Buffalo defender when Courtland is Sutton you on fire? It's just unfair. Look at that beautiful right toe drag swag right there. Beautiful stuff there by Cortland Sutton back here in the studio. Man, I'm working up a sweat talking about these great plays, clearing my throat as well. We just got a lot of great plays this week in sports. We're going to head to a quick break now, though, and after, Olivier will be hosting another Good Morning KU Sports Trivia show.
Yeah, I always just clap in this part.
This is where everyone's talking amongst themselves. Do you know how to do it? Do you know how to do it?
Are we supposed to smile?
When do we start? Somebody over here already started.
Can we talk about the piccolo part's the most complicated one?
It is. If you listen, you're doing it when the band's not playing.
You have to tell me when it starts. I still don't know.
Here we go. Just clapping now.
No humps.
Nailed it.
I practiced this morning.
Mine was just two people.
It has a right and a wrong way of doing it. No. Wrong.
I like my way better.
I don't know how to
1,
do
2,
the
3,
end.
4.
It's just
I don't know the
Sorry.
head.
It's hard by yourself.
Welcome back from the break. I'm Olivier, your host of this week's Good Morning KU Sports Trivia. For our contestants today, we have our very own William Wall and a special guest visitor from Topeka Seaman High School, Trace Brungardt. Our topic today is KU athletics. Are you ready, guys? Let's get started.
Ready. Let's do this.
Awesome. Here's our first question. KU has the longest streak of consecutive basketball tournament appearances of all time. How many appearances do they have? Is it A, 40, B, 33, C, 28, or D, 21?
I mean, it's a very good basketball program.
Yeah. We have to go with C.
I'll go with B.
The correct answer is C. The Jayhawks have made 28 consecutive appearances in the NCAA March Madness tournament, with their most recent national championship win over UNC in 2022. They beat the Tar Heels 72-69. Number 2. Which famous KU basketball coach also coached KU football? Is it A, Ted Owens, B, Phog Allen, C, James Naismith, or D, Larry Brown?
Well, I recognize the name Brown, Larry Brown, so.
I'll do James Naismith.
Yeah, I'll do Larry Brown.
Neither, guys. The correct answer is B. Phog Allen was the head coach for the Jayhawks in 1920. Though he is known for his basketball success here, he also helped out KU football. Next question. How many former KU football players are now in the NFL? Is it A, 5, B, 8, C, 3, or D, 6?
I'll have to say 5.
I'm going to say 3. I'm going to say C.
Correct answer is A, 5. There are 5 former Jayhawks on teams right now: the Cowboys, the Saints, the Bengals, the Eagles, and the Steelers. Next question. Who did KU beat in their highest scoring game of all time, beating them 150-95? Is it A, North Carolina, B, UCLA, C, Duke, or D, Kentucky?
I'm going to say B.
I'm going to say UCLA.
It's D. Jayhawks beat the Kentucky Wildcats in 1989 at Allen Fieldhouse, with Kansas coach Roy Williams in charge. Rick Pitino, Kentucky's coach at the time, was starting his first year at Kentucky and was not happy about the tough loss. As of 2022, KU athletics make $17.3 million in ticket sales. Is this true or false?
I mean, that seems about right.
I'm going to say false.
I'm going to say true.
It is true. The revenue KU makes from ticket sales and athletics is 15% of their total sales. KU is home to more than 22 sports teams on campus. Is that true or false?
It's false. It's false.
I'm going to say it's false.
It is false. KU has only 18 sports teams on campus, but all excel in their respective fields. KU football, volleyball, and basketball are all ranked this year. Thanks for playing, Will and Trace. We'll be back after a short break with the weather from Sam.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks.
Missed the bus again? Yeah. You should download My Bus Lawrence. You can see when buses are arriving here, and you can also see where the buses are in Lawrence. Wow, okay. Download the My Bus Lawrence app today.
Welcome back. Looking at active satellite imagery right now. Once again, we have a big line of cloud cover along the east coast of the U.S. stretching down into the Gulf. And that is associated with another cold front over that area. And down off of Florida, we see what we call a mesoscale convective system, which simply put is just a giant blob of rainfall. But it turned out that system brought some areas in South Florida. Some areas got upwards of 12 inches of rainfall over the last few days. Meanwhile, here back in Lawrence, once again we have sunny skies. Don't let this dirty camera fool you. Skies are sunny here. And if I told you to imagine a typical fall day, well, today is just that. Right now we're sitting at 48 degrees, but rain chances will be returning for Sunday into Monday, and I'll get more into that in a minute. Counting down the hours of the weekend, we're going to top off at around 60 degrees this afternoon before dropping down into the 40s this evening and then eventually down into the 30s as you get later on into the night. And for the Sunflower Showdown game tomorrow against K-State, it's going to be a bit warmer tomorrow. We're going to top out in the mid-60s, be around 54 come kickoff. Then come the fourth quarter, it'll be down toward 45, but I highly recommend bringing your winter coats because the feels like temperatures are going to be a good bit lower than 45, so you're definitely going to want to be warmed for the end of the game tomorrow. And this is where things start to change. As Sunday, we have a severe weather risk for mostly central Oklahoma. And then as that system moves on to the east, the risk shifts down toward northern Louisiana. Now, while here in Lawrence, we're not going to get any of the severe weather, the system will bring us a good bit of rainfall Sunday and Monday. As you can tell by the future scan here, this is what the radar might look like from 9 a.m. Sunday to noon on Monday. Basically a decent chance of light rain for that whole 27-hour period here over Lawrence. Now, on the exact opposite end of the spectrum is the KU basketball team in Honolulu for the Maui Invitational. First game is Monday at 8 p.m. Central Time, 4 p.m. local against Chaminade, and it'll be wonderful conditions in the high 70s for that game. And now there is a chance of rain early Monday morning, but that should be well gone come game time. And if you made the choice to head down there for the Maui Invitational, that was a great decision on your part, as it'll be in the high or low 80s for Tuesday and Wednesday. Absolutely wonderful conditions for that. For other sports going on in the next week, whether it be women's swim and dive or volleyball in action today or cross country tomorrow, absolutely beautiful conditions for those. So highly recommend making the trip out to any of these if you're going to be on the road for your Thanksgiving travel. Wrapping up with the 7-day forecast, going to be in the 60s for today and tomorrow with sunny skies. And then rain chances return Sunday and Monday. We're going to settle down in the high 40s for the middle of next week. It'll be around 47 for your Thanksgiving Thursday. And if you do not like snow, I recommend you cover your ears right now because next Friday and Saturday is our first chance for a few snowflakes this season. Over to you, Katie.
Thanks, Sam. We finally calculated the scores from our trivia game, and despite all the technical difficulties, we have our winner, Trace. Thanks to Trace and his classmates from Topeka Seaman for visiting the studio today. That's all we have for you on this episode of Good Morning KU Sports. Thank you for tuning in this week. We will not have a show next week due to Thanksgiving break, but stay tuned for Playmakers at noon today. We will see you in a few weeks, and rock chalk.